Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for another webinar brought to you by the National Puerto Rican Chamber of Commerce. My name is Joel Berrocal. I'm the National Director of Operations with the NPR Chamber, and today we'll be discussing Holberton and how they're changing the face of tech in Puerto Rico. So I'm happy to be joined by Mercedes Diaz, who's the campus director of Holberton in San Juan, and by Jeffrey Martinez, who's a software engineer with Holberton. So he'll be talking about giving his testimonial as well. So really excited to have you guys today joining us. Really excited about the conversation we're going to have. I'm really excited about everything you guys are doing and everything that Holberton looks to do in Puerto Rico moving forward. So again, really excited. So again, without further ado, Mercedes, I'll let you take it from here and we'll start the conversation.
Great, thank you, Joel. We're super excited to be here and be part of this webinar and to introduce Holberton to everybody and so that everybody can find out what we're doing, what we're aiming to do in Puerto Rico. Holberton, Puerto Rico is part of a really large network of Holberton campuses around the world. There are over 33 schools right now in 20 countries, and if somebody watches this next month, it will probably 34 or 35 because it's expanding. And the reason it's expanding so quickly is because it's proven to be effective. It works. The Holberton formula works. And we're able to produce, to train, to graduate really strong software engineers to go into the workforce and, hit the ground running. So Holberton, specifically in Puerto Rico, started in September of 2020, right smack in the middle of the pandemic. So it was a challenging start, but successful as well. I mean, our first cohort started with 20-something students, and they had to do a hybrid format and study online, come to school when it was possible, but we were committed. It was an important thing. We had to get it started regardless of the pandemic to get where we are today. So it's going to be about 2 years. We've had 6 cohorts so far that have started, and they're in different stages. We welcome students 3 times a year, in January, in May, and September. So there's always something happening, students entering, students graduating, students transferring. So it's really exciting. We are right now in the heart of Santurce, which is now like the tech corridor. I love that. We're in a really exciting place, and it's really convenient for our students, all the amenities, free parking, etc. So it's really good for them. It's specifically about Holberton and why is Holberton such a different proposition in terms of education, because we call it Holberton School, but it's not really a regular school. Holberton is unique in many ways. I guess the first thing I would say is that Holberton, all we do is software engineering. That's it. We are so focused on that we are able to offer this really robust and strong education to our students and have them graduate in under 2 years. So it's very different from, standard college degree, etc. That's all we do. And the curriculum per se was developed by the tech industry, was developed by software engineers who saw this particular need. They were hiring students right out of college, and they said, okay, they have all the theoretical part, set, but the practical, they don't have enough experience coding. They haven't coded enough, so they had to retrain them. So they started training, and they started building a curriculum to put this to students, the new entries through it, and they realized they had something. So our 2 founders, Julian Barber and his colleague that's right now not involved in Holberton, they work for Docker, they work for LinkedIn, and they realized they had something, and they founded a school in San Francisco. The school went so well and it started expanding. So now that particular school has closed. So they're focused now on supporting the franchisees, the schools around the world. The curriculum is revised, it's reviewed, it's changes, it's like really dynamic. And it evolves because the market evolves, because the technology sector evolves. Things are happening, new things every day. So one of the things that I get asked the most is this school accredited? Do you have some accreditation, middle states, that sort of thing? And I say proudly, no, we don't. we are not accredited, and it's by design. Because with accreditation comes a lot of process that takes a long time, and things kind of move slowly. By us being able to control our curriculum and managing that, we're able to, switch on a dime and change and incorporate new things. And the curriculum is always fresh and relevant. So I think that's probably the first thing that makes us different. The second thing, it's had to be our methodology. It's 100% project-based. And I know when you go to college, there are some classes that will be project-based or partially project-based, but this is 100%. Our students learn to code by coding. That's all they do. The emphasis on the doing and not the theoretical. Of course, they will read a lot. Of course, they will go through documentation, but the proof is in the pudding. You can code if you can code. And from the first week they're here, they're already producing code. And we get students that have zero experience very often. You will hear from some of our students, I didn't even own a PC. I don't have a laptop. This is the first time I have one of my own. So, because we give them laptops too.
That's pretty amazing. That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is like, is it something that your typical enrollees have a little bit of knowledge in coding, or you are so that kind of answered my question. That it looks like you're getting people off the street who with zero coding knowledge to go and they're having success. So that's really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, most of our students started at some point in time in college, but did not finish. About 3/4 of our students have some college in different areas, sometimes very far away from tech. We have teachers, we have people that come from customer service, from the hospitality industry, a little bit of everything. A few of them started in computer science, but didn't finish it. And you'll hear from them, the most common thing that they'll say is that it was going too slow. I mean, it took forever, I've learned at Holberton in a month what I learned in this class in the whole semester, or more than what I learned in a whole semester. So some people are just not wired for that. And Holberton seems to work for them.
Yeah,
so,
and I think it seems like you guys are really efficient with how you're teaching the students, where some traditional college might be, for lack of a better term, might be loaded with a little bit of fluff in their curriculum and stuff that isn't as essential. So that's really differentiates you guys. So that's really nice to see as well.
Yeah, I believe there's a place for everyone, and college will be perfect for some people. And if you're looking at liberal arts, and if you're looking at maybe going into academia at some point in time, then college is for you. But if you know this is what you want to do, software engineering, I would choose the most efficient way to do it, the shortest. Holberton would be the best choice. So our students, when they enter here, all we ask them to do is go through a online admissions test. And I just said they don't need any previous or prior knowledge. So it doesn't make sense if we're testing them. But the truth is that the test is not really to gauge what they know. It's to gauge what they're willing to learn. The methodology of the test is very similar to the learning styles and the learning methodology at Holberton. So if they feel comfortable with that, if they feel comfortable with reading and Googling and searching and do some experimentation, etc., if they're successful with the test, they'll most likely be successful at Holberton. So that's what we ask them to do. This test has no cost. It doesn't really make you, like, if you pass, you have to sign up. It's just an exploration for the student, if this is the right methodology for them, and for us to have some sort of preview of what it might be like for this student to be at Holberton. So it's 100% project-based. We are really focused on collaborative learning. It's really important to share with your peers, to ask, to work together. There are projects that are individual, and there are some that you have to work in teams. And the final project can be a team of up to 3 or 4 people, and it's huge. So we have certain things that we have inserted into the process to make sure that they collaborate. We force collaboration. Yeah, and it's one of the things that employers tell us. We need people that have the right soft skills, and one of them is being able to work with the team, collaborate, communicate effectively with the team, ask the right questions. So things that we do here at Holberton, we do daily stand-ups, which is very common in the industry. So they know that we have a science speaker. So every day, at least 2 students are presenting, whatever they choose, whatever topic, but they get used to, talking in front of a group, making a presentation that's engaging, always presenting in English. Our students are bilingual. So it's important for that. We have mock interviews And the first thing you think of when you hear mock interviews is, oh, they're getting ready for a job interview. But that's part of it. The other part is that if you are a software engineer in a company and you have customers, internal customers, you'll probably have to interview them to make sure you know what they need. And you have to be able to understand and ask the right questions, and that sort of thing. That's a really important thing to know. So that's part of the process that they have here. Mock interviews help them do that. So yeah, I was saying stand-ups, mock interviews, and team projects. So
no, that's you're really making making, for quote unquote, making people more employable and kind of really rounding them out, as opposed to just giving them the technical knowledge that they need for the job. But like you said, those soft skills are so valuable that, you know, some people are lacking coming out of college and stuff like that. So you guys, again, are really rounding them out, which is wonderful. And then, you know, we had talked about it before, but can you speak a little bit about, you know, kind of how the business model in terms of the barrier of entry for students and stuff like that when it comes to, you know, tuition and those type of things. I thought that when we initially had our conversation about I was super intrigued by it, and I could see it being, you guys really being a valuable piece of you know, workforce development in Puerto Rico. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Our two investors, the people responsible for bringing Holberton to Puerto Rico, are investors in several businesses. And one of them in particular, who's a software engineer, he comes from academia. He used to be a professor at Carnegie Mellon. He moved to Puerto Rico, wanted to start a business, and he couldn't find software engineers. He couldn't find enough developers to start a business. So the solution, as any entrepreneur, you know, would do, is like, let's train them. He found the Holberton model to be perfect for that. It's easy. I mean, no, it's not easy. It's accessible. It's what I would say. Accessible, yeah. And it's fast, etc. So they decided to bring the franchise to Puerto Rico. Cyril Meduña and Adam Beglin are investors, and Adam is our chief mentor. He's very much involved in the day-to-day operation, and he's really available to our students. The accessibility factor was important. If we are going to, we're not an accredited university, so our students don't have access to federal aid. And some of our students, since they were in college except a few years, they might have run out of money to federal aid anyway, so they don't have scholarship access. The reason then we made this accessible, or the way we made this accessible to students, is that we are not asking them to pay tuition upfront. When they join Holberton, they don't have to pay anything. They start studying, they spend their almost 2 years here at Holberton, and they only begin paying for tuition once they graduate and they start working at a job that pays at least $30,000. And then they pay a percentage of their salary. It's an income share agreement. So we're successful if they're successful, you know, we make money if they make money. We're totally vested in this. It works for both of us.
That's amazing, and it's kind of like I said in our previous conversations when we talked about, right now you guys are in San Juan, but just in terms of the possibilities for the rest of the island. Like I said, my family's from the West Coast, and you know, a lot of my relatives, you know, even something when compared to tuition rates in the U.S., Puerto Rico is still relatively less expensive, but it was still a big hurdle to cross, and a lot of people just couldn't do that. So having something like this gives them an option that they wouldn't otherwise have. So that's why, again, I keep saying I'm so intrigued with the possibilities of workforce development that you guys can achieve in Puerto Rico because of that business model. So it's amazing.
Yeah. We're having conversations with the kind of Departamento de Desarrollo Económico, the Department of Economic Development, San Juan, in Caguas, in other municipalities. Tomorrow I'll be on the West Coast as well, because yes, this is something that can really change the standard of living for many people. And it really allows the municipality to attract businesses that are tech heavy. If they can say, yeah, I've got here's the workforce, they're prepared, they're ready, or they're graduating in 6 months, come and move over here, move to wherever, Ponce, Mayagüez, etc. So I think we all understand that. And our students, when they graduate, so the ones I have graduated so far, they're earning on average $60,000 a year. So for someone that was maybe making 12, 15, 20 something, it's a life-changing,
It's life-changing, yeah.
life-changing for them, their family, and their communities. So
Yeah.
this is what we want to do. We're been graduating about 10 students per cohort. We want to graduate 50 per cohort.
Right.
To make, totally changing everybody and all the communities that are around us. It really can.
And I remember one of the things in our previous conversation, one of the things you said is that you almost have more companies and jobs available than students you're actually graduating, which is, a good problem to have, Well, for you guys anyway, not for the employers, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the students that have it's a buyer's market, they get to choose, the company they work for, if their mission is compatible. I mean, if their style, the environment, I mean, they get to pick and choose what's best for them.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
I've been following you guys on social media, and I've been seeing the posts seems like every day I see another graduate just got hired here, hired there with top-notch, Fortune 500 companies and stuff. So truly amazing stuff.
Yeah, no, we've been able to establish like collaborative agreements with some of the companies. For example, with Lockheed Martin, they approached us that they want to create a number of apprenticeship positions for our students, and they did. And our students are working with Lockheed Martin on a part-time basis while they finish their specialization, which is second year of study here. So they're flexible enough that they can do both, and it's amazing because they are going to graduate with experience. They're making some money, and it's most likely a path to getting hired within the company. I'm sure they're going to do a great job, and I'm sure they're going to get offers when they finish their apprenticeship and might stay there.
No, that's wonderful stuff. So again, it's exciting to see, and I look forward to seeing how it develops. So I think now it's a good time we can bring Jeffrey into the conversation. You are a Holberton graduate, so I guess we want to have you on the call to kind of talk about your experiences with the going through the program, and now you work for them as well. So can you speak a little bit about your experience and pretty much just give us some feedback, give us your testimonial.
Yes, of course. As you said, I'm a graduate of the first class that was here in Puerto Rico, and when I got into Holberton, I was going through a lot of changes in my personal life because of the COVID, the pandemic, and the opportunity was in front of me, and then I decided to try it out, and I liked it. I liked it along the way, and I decided to stay up until the end. And after doing the program, I noticed that I learned so much in a short amount of time. I felt like actually doing like a bachelor's degree or something like that. But yes, it was very rewarding at the end. I was already having like job opportunities in front of me, and I started to work right away, which was my main goal at the moment, to get like a stable job.
No, that's wonderful, and we need to see more of it. And like I said, a lot of the work we do through the chamber will be, really encouraging. There's a lot of interest in Puerto Rico now in terms of outside investment and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things is education and workforce development. So there'll be a lot of things we'll be working on moving forward to kind of really continue to develop that and really attract new employers to the island. And I think, and like I said, I've said it a couple of times, but I think Holberton will play a big part in that, in really building Puerto Rico's workforce, which I think Puerto Rico already has an amazing talent pool. But with you guys here training, training locals and stuff, I think it makes it even that much better. So just wonderful things all around.
I definitely agree. One of the best things is the flexibility and accessibility of the school. In my case, as Mercy said, I had already went through college. I spent the funds of my scholarship that I had at that moment. And so, yes, it was like, a difficult situation because you're already like a certain age, you have certain responsibilities already. And then finding like a and a place where you could study, and you don't have to pay up until you graduate and actually get a job. That was like
Right.
the main, I would say the main point where I was decided to study in the school,
Right. Right.
because it provided me with the education at the moment without me needing to invest it at the beginning, but rather
Yeah.
pay at the end. So that was very helpful for me.
Yeah. I think that barrier of entry is going to be kind of like you said, Mercedes. That's an absolute game changer for a lot of people, and it can very well, like you, Jeffrey, can change your life. So it's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. So,
I was going to add, the average age of our students is in their higher 20s, mid 20s to high 20s.
okay.
So for them, it usually means that they already have financial commitments. You know, they have a car payment or renter. We have students that has 5 kids right now studying.
Yeah.
So and our school is a full-time school. I mean, the only way we can get to this so quickly is that you dedicate
It's full
8
time.
to 10 hours a day.
Okay.
So for some of them, the challenge is not really paying for the tuition, but being able to generate some money while they're studying. Because they're going to have to quit their full-time job. So
Right.
one of the things that for us is super important is our Holberton Puerto Rico Scholarship Fund. We are working with Fundación Comunitaria de Puerto Rico, a 501c, a nonprofit that manages the fund. And sometimes we are approached by companies, how can I help? How can I collaborate? And there are many ways to do that, but one of the ways that they can is by donating to the Holberton Scholarship Fund. It's easy, it's fast, and that money goes to the students as a stipend to help them with their living expenses. So far, right now, we have 10 students that have received scholarships about a month ago. For the new cohort that's starting in September, we are already offering 2 scholarships that are based on your performance or the score that you get on the admissions test. We want to be able to offer scholarships to our top ranking candidates. And in September, we'll have another round of scholarships for our current students. So if somebody that's watching this says, oh, I'd like to help, I believe in that mission, I think, I believe in Holberton's formula, and they want to help, yeah, absolutely, get in touch with us, because we'll send you the link to the scholarship fund, and that would be a great way to help. That way we can get more students who would not be able to quit their jobs and study full-time into the school.
Right. No, that's amazing. I wasn't aware of that. So thanks for sharing that one. Again, like I said, we've had conversations. We're planning to do a couple of our events at the Holberton campus. So, moving forward, I just look forward to our future collaborations. I'm really excited about the possibility of you guys, maybe expanding out to the other parts of the island moving forward. So all in all, just really exciting stuff. Excuse me. So for everyone watching, just be sure to stay tuned to everything going on. There'll be a lot more coming in terms of collaborations with us and Holberton and other organizations moving forward to really just move the economic needle in Puerto Rico forward. So again, Mercedes, Jeffrey, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to everything moving forward. Before we go ahead and close it out, did you guys want to add anything else? Any last words, remarks? Thoughts?
Just asking if you're interested in the school, if you know someone who might be interested in changing careers, or someone who just, college wasn't for them and they quit. I mean, send them over to Holberton. You can call our area code 787-296-9300, and we'll set up an appointment for an orientation. You can come visit the school. Yeah, definitely. We'd love to welcome you to our facilities here in Santurce.
Wonderful. No, that's awesome, and we'll be sure to share all that contact info in the description when we get this video out to everybody. So again, Jeffrey, did you have any last words or anything before we go ahead and wrap this up?
Yes, of course. I would say don't be afraid to try out new things, because in my example, I felt very intimidated at the beginning because I had zero experience programming or doing anything related. So I was doubting myself, like, could I do this? But I tried it, and for my surprise, I liked it along the way. So I decided to stay, and you have said, it changed my life, like the way I used to live from how I live now. So my
Amazing.
piece of advice would be like, don't be afraid to test new things out. You might encounter or find other stuff that you might like along the way. The good thing about this industry that it has many paths that you can choose. And there's a wide variety of fields that you can explore and things that you could do. So yeah, just be curious and throw yourself out there to live new things.
No, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff. I love it. So again, thank you again, guys. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So everybody, thank you for joining us today. All the info, if you want to get in contact with Mercedes and then learn more about Holberton, will be in the description below. So again, thank you all for joining us, and everybody, you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks,
Super.
Joel.
Thanks
Bye.
you. Bye.